would be doing a disservice to not just mention our incredible back line and the work of our back line and Alyssa and our midfield. I mean, that was a team win.
Welcome to Red Stars Report, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news and commentary on all things Chicago Red Stars. I'm your host, LT.
And I'm your co-host, Liz.
Thank you all for joining us this week. I know that we missed last week, so we have a couple of matches to talk about. However, Liz, I don't think people want to spend too much time with us talking about a loss against North Carolina, so I think we should probably be a little brief.
That's okay. We can totally just breeze past that. Just hit some maybe the high of the not very high moment high points.
I don't know if we could breeze by it because there were a few things that were important. But the first thing would be that I would say is that unfortunately they couldn't get a win to stay closer to North Carolina in the standings. I think that's a big thing that kind of came out of this. I know that it's kind of just like shoot for playoffs no matter the seed, but it would have been nice to sort of keep pace with North Carolina.
Yeah, I felt like that game we just didn't get off to a good start, and it just kind of went downhill from there with the own goal, and just it wasn't great. But yeah, trying to keep pace. I just wanted to see us compete with North Carolina. For some reason, they give us fits, and
Yeah.
it felt like we're just a step off in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, it was trouble during that match a couple of years ago with the two late goals, the Sarah Griffith chip and then the goose header that like that was like the best North Carolina match that I remember, even though it was terrible up until the very end of it. But other than that, I don't usually have very fond memories of playing North Carolina.
No, I don't know what it is about them, but we just struggle with them. There's certain teams I feel like we match up well with, and North Carolina is just not one of them. And as I said, I just feel like we did not start that match off well, and we were just behind the eight ball from the jump.
And unfortunately, U.S. Women's National Team head coach, manager, Emma Hayes was in the crowd, and it was their first time back in Chicago since she was fired in 2010 because she was the coach of the Red Stars from 2008 to 2010 during the WPS era. It was sad that our young players weren't on their game in front of her, or any of our players really, even the ones that currently play for her. But at least for me, Ashley Sanchez showed out because I miss her on the U.S. Women's National Team, and I hope that Emma was like, "I see you, Ashley."
Yeah, that's who I assumed that she was there to look at because she's kind of been a fringe player. But to be fair, Emma has now watched three NWSL games, and the home team has lost all of them. So we're not the
Yeah,
only ones that are failing when she's watching.
it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Although us at home has not been the greatest storyline this season, so it wasn't.
Maybe she's going to be at one of our next upcoming games when we're playing away, and it
Oh, that
won't
would be
play well.
nice. Like visit Kansas City at the end of the season when we're playing them, and we can just
Yes.
knock Kansas City right off. Yeah, that'd be great. Uh,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah, the match overall was a little rough. The box defending was really bad. Lauren said that in his press conference. He said the passing was really bad. I think we can kind of agree on those. But I think,
Always.
yeah, I didn't think it was any less crap than usual. But but I guess there was just some things that he saw in there that were a little not up to their lower threshold of what good passing looks like in a Red Stars game. But they had shots, they had chances, they had moments where like the movement, the momentum was in their favor. Just a score line of 3-1 sort of really didn't show every story or like what the overall story of that match was. Like it it didn't feel like a 3-1 loss. It felt more like a 2-1 loss, maybe. I mean, an own goal doesn't really help in
Right
that,
out of the gate. Yeah, that's
but
tough.
Ludmilla got a goal. She got a goal in the match this week too. We'll talk about that, but she just kind of seems to be on fire. So it's nice that she's continuing to show out.
Nice that she's a Red Star. I'll just leave it at that because I would not want her on another team and have to play against her because she's fantastic. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just one of those games. As I agree, like the scoreline definitely doesn't show what it was. I feel like we got opportunities, but we did not convert, and
Story of the season.
we in North Carolina, for whatever the reason is, when they play against us, they score some outrageous goals, and they've done that twice this year against us. And I don't know what it is. Well, the marking in the box was part of the reason. I mean, they were having free runners in the box and getting goals, and it was, I don't know, it was just one of those games where it just felt like the ball was bouncing their way. It wasn't bouncing our way. Kind of feels how it goes with them all the time. But yeah, overall, like, yeah, we lost, but I'm not gonna take too much from it because we always struggle against them. I wish that we could figure out why. I think it's something to do with how they press, and we can't seem to break through it. But yeah, and also, I'm glad that I've read that Brianna Pinto went down in that game, and it was seemed very serious, but it sounds like it's not as serious as what we thought. Have not heard full details on that yet, but I'm glad to hear that she was okay because that was a really scary moment in
It
that game.
was. Yeah, that was during the own goal. Her and Carrie sort of collided with each other, and she was down for a little bit and then went off the field, and that was really a scary moment. So it's good to see, or good to hear that it's not as serious as it sort of looked, or what was originally thought. Um, but yeah, so North Carolina will just that's gone. Spent like
Let's
5 minutes
just
on
not
that.
play them in the playoffs either. Let's just not do that.
Yeah, Houston. A better match to talk about because it was a win, but there's still some stuff that we could talk about in that one. To start off, one change in the starting lineup was Shea Groom was in for her first start with the Chicago Red Stars. She was playing her old team, Houston, who I think she played for 4 or 5 years. Hit 10,000 minutes in this match. It was her 150th regular season appearance in the NWSL, and she actually spoke after the match about what it all meant to her.
You can't script it. Obviously I left this place, but it'll always be like home, and the fans were obviously super warm and welcoming, even when they didn't need to be. So it felt like home, but obviously it felt good to come in here and get a win, and just, yeah, hit that milestone in my career. Obviously, when you have a big injury, there's a lot of unknowns. So it was a pretty magical night for me, and yeah, just a great day. And I'm thankful to have done it in this crest.
I really liked what I saw from Shea in this entire match. It was nice to see her get like more minutes than she usually gets. She usually kind of gets garbage minutes or just maybe 10 or 15 near the end of the match, but like her off-ball presence was really nice. Her passing was nice. It was nice to see someone new make a little bit of an impact on that front line.
Yeah, I really appreciated what she brought. I felt like I I feel like she helped gel a little bit the midfield to the front line in some capacity. I don't know really how to explain that, but it just felt like it was a bit more cohesive, progressing the ball down the field when we were moving the ball down the field. So the first half of the game. Um, so, but yeah, I was happy to see her get the start. It's kind of fun that it was against Houston, her former team. Just really happy for her. She's been through a lot, battling back from injury. She just seems like such an excellent veteran leader to have. I know the players all speak really highly of her, to have that knowledge, and she seems like she's a fun player to have on the roster as well as a heck of a competitor. So I'm just glad she got, as you said, minutes that weren't garbage minutes. I thought that she played well, and I think that she played herself into hopefully getting more minutes, and maybe some more starts as we go on. I know the season's winding down, but I'm hoping that we see her more, because I just think that she brings a veteran presence that we kind of need at times on the field. And it's a little change of pace than what you get with Jamise. And so it's just different, and that's okay. And Shea's a little bit more physical, and sometimes you need that against a team like Houston. And she has a little bit more height as well. I think maybe it's just because she jumps really high.
It is just because she jumps really high. She makes up for it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, her presence on the field, and I'm sure off the field, is like, this is a young team. Even if you have players like Ludmilla, who like Ludmilla's like up in her 30s, so not a young player, but a veteran in the world of soccer. But she's talked about the like language barrier that she's been having to fight through. So when you have such a young front line, a young midfield with a rookie like B, and a player who's just making her first several starts in the NWSL, and Julia, and then you have a back line that has Hannah on it and has Taylor on it, and then Cam when she comes in, like, you have all these young players on this team. And it's nice that you can have a player like Shea who kind of comes in, and when you watch her play, you're like, this is a player that's been at this for a while. Like, this is a player that knows how to play in this league, knows the physicality of this league, knows the tendencies of every player in this league, because she's played against all of them. And that was nice to see in extended minutes throughout. She may not have like what she did on the field may not have like shown up on the score line, but it was good to see, and I hope there's more of it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it takes some of the weight off Mal's shoulders, because Mal on that front line is constantly directing and talking, and which she should be doing. But I think Shea can also like help with that, because I mean, you think about it, Ali Schlegel she's new. Like, she's not, I wouldn't call her a veteran of the league yet either. And
No,
so you've got that going on, and it's
I mean, it's
just,
her second year.
I
It's
know, that's the
like,
thing. It's like she's there, and she's figuring out, and she's battling through some stuff, and like I don't know. I just felt like there was more cohesion with Shea out there. I don't know how to explain it other than that. And
in the
that's
first
not
half.
maybe yeah, in the first half.
We'll get to
We'll
the
talk
second half.
about the second half later.
Yeah, but the stuff that did stand out on the front line obviously was Ludmila scoring another goal, as I mentioned, her third in 3 matches. She's just been more than sort of what we had even hoped, I think. When we signed her, I was like, cool, someone to take pressure off of Mal, so Mal can be a little more open. Maybe she'll get a couple goals here and there. Um, and then here we are, I think 5 matches into her NWSL career, and she has 3 goals. I'm like, a whole year of her is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, she's exceeds expectations right now for me. She's played so well. She's jumped in, I think, coming off the high of the Olympics for her. I know that they got silver, but still, that was unexpected from Brazil. And so I think that it just coming in, playing so well. I think that, yeah, as you said, like taking off that pressure from Mal has helped, but Mal hasn't scored since the break. So there's also that whole thing that's happening. But she doesn't have to right now. So she
Yeah.
can be going through this lull. So it's okay, because we have Ludmila, and I'm so glad that we do. I'm so grateful that she is on our team, and because I think that she is one of those players that drives other teams nuts, because she's constantly bothering you. She's like a gnat almost. Like, you're trying to wave her away from you as a defender, and she's just all there all the time. Like, you can't get away from her. And I love it. I love that she's constantly battling for the ball and she knows how to battle for the ball too. Like she fouls some, so what? Like big deal. But she knows how to poke her foot in and get the ball and just pester you and pester you and pester you. And I love it. I love all of that. And Allie Schlegel, same thing. Big shout out to Allie Schlegel, by the way. I think that she has had a little bit of a run here where she is giving us excellent minutes. She is
Yeah.
playing really well. Her pressing and just her ability to position herself properly on the field as a second year player is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been really nice to have Allie back in the starting lineup. I'm really glad that she was the one that took the PK, drawn by Ludmila. Uh, we needed someone else to sort of start taking our PK chances. After we saw those PKs in the Summer Cup, I was like, yes to Allie. Like this is the player that I want. Like her energy, her poise, her composure. Um, just going up to take that PK in the Summer Cup, I was like, this is the player that I want taking PKs. I really would have taken a lot of those players because that was a hell of a shootout. They did really well. But just having her back, her presence in the press, and her presence in what we've talked about with that like defending forward, whatever that is. Um, she's making an impact, and it's good to see because she's sort of had some ups and downs in her career and some injuries here and there. So it's nice to get a nice little stretch of Allie Schlegel.
And I think Shea playing with her is really helpful. I think that they play similarly in their defensive presence on like up the field. And so I think that that is really helpful. And I don't know, there's just something about them that seems very similar in their playing styles. And so I think it was interesting to see them on the field at the same time against Houston. So I just really like that. I'm just hoping that Mal can get out of her funk sometime soon,
Yeah.
preferably before the playoffs start. And yeah, PK. I really would love to see Julia Grosso step up and take one, but I am not opposed to Allie Schlegel. When I say that, don't get me wrong. Allie's great. I really would like to see Grosso take one though, because I know that she can take them.
I'm
And
not going to bring it up.
yeah,
Uh,
don't bring it up. I don't want to relive
I
it
won't.
again.
Don't
I
worry.
don't want to relive it again. But yeah, Allie is just she's got that, as you said, that personality of somebody
Yeah.
that's good at taking PKs because nothing phases her. She's gonna do it and she's not gonna get phased by it. And Mal notoriously doesn't take strong PKs, and that's okay. That doesn't make her a bad player. Some players are good at PKs and some players are not. Talk about Mia Hamm. She never wanted to take penalty kicks. She was never that player that wanted to volunteer to do it. They forced her to do it in the final of the World Cup in 1999. She did not want anything to do with it. And there you go. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Some players don't want to do them. They don't have the mentality to do them. And it's okay.
When it comes to PKs, they can be such a momentum shift, not just in the if you're down, you get a goal back, but also just energizing everybody. And when a player like Allie takes a PK and scores, like her reaction to her scoring, her putting her arms up, being like, look at me. Like I just did
Yeah.
that. Like that gets the team going. And that's what you want to see. It was unfortunate that it happened so late in the because they didn't sort of carry that into the second half. Um, but
And
yeah,
to score on Jane, because Jane is fantastic
Jane
at stopping
is
PKs.
Jane is very, very good at stopping PKs. If I remember correctly, I don't know her statistics offhand, but she's
It's
a
very
good
good. I don't
stopper.
know the specific, but she is one of the best in the world at stopping penalty kicks.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, Mal, she doesn't need to take them to be Mal. Like if that's not part of her game, that's not part of her game. If she wants, I'm sure she wants to get better at them, and that's why she keeps taking them. But if she wasn't the option and Allie's name was called, or if anyone else's name was called, they it's a good thing they scored because if they didn't, then who knows what would have happened after that. Like the next
Alyssa
time
Naeher
they
will
get
step up and take a penalty kick.
that's only going to happen in the
A
playoffs if
shootout.
there's a draw.
Yeah, in a shootout, that
In a
would be, you're
shootout.
not going to have her go up there and take one in the run of play. I get
Yeah.
that.
But like Mal in general is such a weird story right now. Like she got the assist on the Ludmila header from that set piece. It was
Set piece
that
goal.
piece. Like she just doesn't look like herself right now at times in front of goal. Every other aspect of her game has been great. Like she's defending well, she's passing well. Her movement, like to actually receive the ball, has been great. Like she looks like Mal in those aspects, but just like when she gets in front of goal, she's not putting it in the back of the net or even at the net. And that's the part that is a little frustrating. She missed a couple big opportunities in this match. I know people are like say that she's being doubled, but she's been doubled her whole life. Like that that has nothing to do with it. She's getting open even if she's being doubled.
She's
That
getting really
one,
good opportunities.
she had one right in front of goal, one-on-one, and she skied it into the crowd. Like
Yeah,
I
you can tell
don't.
she's frustrated.
Yeah, absolutely. It can't be easy. But like you said, she hasn't even scored since coming back from the Olympics. And it's important that others are scoring while she isn't. Like Ludmila has 3, Ali has 2, B has 1, Mies has 1 since Mal last scored. Like
Anna Anderson should have one, but they stole it from us, and I'm still mad about it.
the club has I'm mad too. The club has 3 wins in that time. They also have 4 losses in that time. Maybe they're all losses if those other players aren't stepping up. So
Or draws, or not.
yeah.
We could be sitting in a totally different place in the standings.
Yeah. So for years, we've been calling for people to step up without Mal. She missed an entire season and kind of look how things went with there. Like the struggle to get people to score consistently on this team, not named Mallory Swanson, has been an issue for the last few years. And even though she's on the pitch now and has the opportunities to score, there are still other people scoring, and they're winning games sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's the positive. That's where I look at it. I'm like, yeah, she's not scoring. It's not great, but she will figure it out. It's Mal. It's going to come. But these other people are doing the job now, so I think that that's going to help her because it's going to take the weight off of her shoulders of like, oh God, we're not winning because I'm not doing my job. We're winning so she can just think, okay, I need to figure it out. Maybe Dansby needs to stop going to games because it feels like when he goes to games, we're not winning and she's not scoring. So stay home, Dansby. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, I hope that she gets out of her funk. I like to make a national team comment. I will say that the triple espresso have not been themselves since any of them have come back from the Olympics. So I don't know if they are just that exhausted or they used all of their magic and they need to replenish it or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like they haven't looked themselves, but it'll come. All 3 of them will figure it out, but I'm hoping that Mal figures it out before the other 2.
Yeah, considering,
Right.
kind of have
But
to play one of those.
I know we're gonna have to play one of them, I'm sure. So but yeah, I'm hoping that Mal can sort it out. She just looks very, very frustrated. And that's why part of me was like, I wish that she was better at taking PKs because then maybe having her take that penalty kick
Yeah.
and seeing the ball go in the back of the net could have been a positive. But when we start talking about the second half, I'll talk a little bit more about that too.
The score line overall, like even though those players are scoring, obviously like the defense and the defending in general from all 3 of the lines is also what's sort of keeping them in games because they don't usually score more than 1 goal. This is the first time that Chicago had scored multiple goals in a regular season match since June 28th against San Diego. And this is also the first time that they've scored 2 goals in the first half of a match since May 12th against Utah, when Utah was playing horribly.
That's so bad.
So when I saw that they were playing, or that they scored 2 in the first half, I was like, this game should be a blowout. And then it ended up 2-0, which isn't great. I think the midfield is still a problem, even though you have a player like Julia Grosso who is making every single pass that she can possibly make. She had the most touches that she's had as a Red Star so far in this match, but still not a lot of contribution moving forward. And if even, I guess maybe even if like she is contributing to what's moving forward, it's stopping there. Or at least she's not making as much contribution forward as I would hope. And I think that's just like, I'm curious if that's the tactics that are sort of keeping this midfield from progressing, or is it just sort of a lack of outlets? Because they seem to like to play a lot of long balls over the top more so than playing through the midfield.
It makes, based on what I have seen, it looks like Julia has slotted right into where Carrie has been playing for the most part. And she's been doing the same thing that Carrie is doing when I say that, of dropping back onto the back line. Carrie was doing that a lot. And now it seems like Julia is doing that. And I don't know if that, as you said, is that tactically what she's being told to do? Or is that what we're feeling we need to do because of the onslaught of everything, because we don't possess the ball very much? And so I feel like it's hard for her to get the ball up the field and keep going offensively, because she feels like she has to be back there for whatever, if that's a tactical thing or just a feeling. I don't know. Based on what I've seen, it feels like she's doing essentially what Carrie did when she was in the midfield. It's what it looks like to me. And I don't know where that's coming from, but it needs to stop, because our back line is fully capable of handling a team like Houston, in my opinion. We don't need somebody to drop back on that back line to help like that. Except when Malum was struggling with Alozia. But that was only part of the game. And so I struggle, because I know how good Julia Grosso can be, and I know what she can do for us, and I want to see it. We brought her here for that reason. I know we did. And it just seems like for whatever reason, it's not happening. And I think once it happens, the team and the field is going to open up immensely, and that midfield is going to start doing what it's supposed to do. It just feels like there's something that is holding it back. And I don't know if it's a tactical thing or not.
The thing that I see is when she first came here, they were playing her kind of on the front line, which was not a super good idea. And because at that point she was becoming the outlet, she was not becoming the distributor like she should be. And when they finally moved her into the midfield, like the defensive midfield, there are moments, there are flashes of how, like, you can see how she sees the field, the way she changes the point of attack, the way she moves through the midfield when there's some openings. Like, that's the player that we've wanted to see, and we didn't see that when she was playing up higher. The problem is, in these last few matches, other than the North Carolina one, we get the lead and then we just sit back. And that's the mentality that our team as a whole has across all lines. And I know you say that Julia seems to be falling back onto that back line. I feel like it's more so our like wing forwards, like the amount of times that Ludmila or Mal or Shea were on that back line was like, like why what are you doing here? Like you should be not here. I know
Yeah,
that
I
that's
feel
like
like everybody's been back there, and I
it's like
don't
a
get it.
tendency that I feel like you see a lot with Jenna because she used to play like wing back, outside back. And that's just how it is. But the amount of times that I saw Ludmila having to drop back to that back line to make sure that a ball didn't get into the box or that Taylor was covered if Taylor was playing too high. Um, and the ball was turned over, which happens a lot with this team, was crazy. It's nice that she's actually capable of shutting down an attack. But it's hard. Like when they have a 2-0 lead, I feel like you should just continue to play the way you're playing. The defense is good enough, like you said. Uh, I know that they lost Natalia Kuika in this match, which was a blow. She didn't look well when she was being helped off the field. I'm pretty sure it was a concussion sub, and we didn't get to really see what happened. I don't know if she'll be back for the next match, but I just like our defenders all season have not been as bad as the defense was last season. And it feels like they're still in this mentality of we need to just hold a lead. And when you do that, everyone gets very tired. It's so noticeable. And you can bring in other people, but then the flow of those defenders and the eye that they have for the game is lost when you bring in other defenders that late. So overall, I think it's just been hard to watch us get leads, and that's why like it's hard to watch us get leads and then just sit back, and that's why a lot of these wins that they have are like 1-0 or 2-0. Like there's no like a team like Houston with the amount of chances they had in that first half and then what happened to them in the second half, they should have flipped that and it should have been 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. They should not have let as many shots Houston get off as many shots as they did.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're playing a team better than Houston, that game probably ends up tied or you lose because you gave up too many chances. The mentality of playing not to lose after you get a lead is so bad for giving up a ton of shots. And then also just mentally for the players, it's like, oh God, we can't give up a goal. We can't give up a goal. The thing is if you're when you play to win, which is what we were doing in the first half, we're playing to score goals. You're getting a better flow. You're moving from defense to offense. Your midfield's doing what they're supposed to do. When you're sitting back, everybody's playing defense. You're not helping Mal. And that's the other thing. Mal needs to score. She needs to figure it out. And that second half would have been a perfect opportunity for her to get some shots on some more. She did get some shots on goal. We had opportunities. I'm not trying to say we didn't, but it wasn't the same.
They were just
It
all
wasn't
like
the same
long
flow.
balls,
Yes.
like kick it downfield and run after it. Like that's what the opportunities were in the second half. In the first half, there was actual build up and plays like that were happening, and it was exciting to watch.
Yeah, it really, really is frustrating. I know were several people in the Discord that were talking about it. It's so hard to watch, as you said, because you're sitting there and you're just watching us defend for our lives for 45 minutes. And you don't want to see that because it's awful. Like you sit there and you're like, Alyssa's constantly like on pins and needles, like, oh God, okay, I got to make these saves. I got to like help and I got to do this. And the defense is exhausted. And you are requiring your defensive line to play perfectly. They are not allowed to make a mistake because they're getting pressed over and over and over and over again. And it's not good soccer. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun. Like, how do you think the front line feels about that? Like, okay, we have to sit back and play defense. No, they want to move the ball. Like, not that they're not trying to do that, but
Yeah.
it's just not I don't get it. I wish somebody could explain it to me because I don't understand it and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves, absolutely. Chicago had all the momentum in the first half. Houston had it in the second half. Chicago was pressuring well in the first half. Houston pressured well in the second half. More shots by Chicago in the first, more shots by Houston in the second. Possession, Chicago finally had more possession than somebody in the first half. It was
But not
like
in the
I think it was like
second.
55 or 53 to 47, somewhere around there. Um, Second half was like 63 to 30 something. Like complete opposite. Like nothing, no actual like control in that second half. It was just sitting back and defending. And I get it. Like you have good enough defense to hold a 2-0 lead. That's great. That's fine. But it's against Houston. Um, like nothing like nothing against Houston, but they're at the bottom of the table. People would have said the same thing about Chicago last year. Is if anybody had 2-0 against Chicago last year and then sat back and defended, we're not coming back from that. It's not happening. Um, Anything is possible, but it's very unlikely. And I really would have rather them just keep putting the pressure on them, give the players confidence in the fact that they can destroy the teams that they're supposed to destroy if they're that confident in their offensive abilities. And like it was the only thing that it's like kind of good for, like even though we say like it tires out the defenders and physically and mentally, like at least after a poor showing last week, they could shine somewhat in this hectic second half to show how well they can play. Um, like last week, Hannah Anderson sort of looked like uncomfortable, you know. I don't know what it was, but like I was watching her play and she just seemed not not comfortable with whatever was happening in that match, or even just not comfortable with herself physically. Like I don't know what it was.
North Carolina does something to us.
But she had a great match. I thought she was just sort of a rock in that back line, and her long balls were fantastic. I just the way that she's growing now, I can't wait to have Sam Staub next to her again next season. Like we'll have
That'd be
two
great.
weapons in the middle who can both just absolutely distribute the ball from the back on those long balls. And I really miss Sam Staub's long throw-ins too. I was thinking that when we were just like throwing the ball in short, and I was like, oh man, don't you just remember when we could chuck it into the box and something could happen?
It's such a weapon to have. It's crazy. I would argue that it playing that way is almost takes the confidence away from our defense too. Like the tactic of we're going to sit back and like help you. They don't need help. That's what against Houston, they
Yeah.
don't need help. And I also don't like the fact that in like when we got behind against North Carolina, we're not built to really score. Like if we get down by multiple goals, it's pretty much ball game. We are not built as a team to come back from multi-goal deficits. A lot of teams aren't, but they have more firepower and more tactical ability to do that. We don't. Our plan is okay, let's kick it over the top and hope somebody runs onto it and score. That's how we are hurry up offense. I was talking about that in the Discord. I'm like, we don't have a hurry up offense, like talking NFL football here. Like we don't have like a 2-minute drill. Like we
Go
don't have
Bears.
something like that. Go Bears. We don't have something like that like other teams do. Like they have like plays that they can do and to get up and down the field quickly. We're not built that way. We are built to get a lead and then park the bus pretty much. We're going to make you we're going to defend for our lives, and our defenders are amazing because they are fearless and they throw their bodies around, and we thank them for that. But when you are playing so well against a team like Houston, you can't do that against them. They don't deserve that respect. And I mean that in the nicest way. But they don't deserve that respect. They don't. We should have gone there and we should have gone for the kill shot, and you put one or two more goals up on them, and then there's no worries. Because if they would have scored one goal against us midway, like somewhere in the middle of the second half, then it's anybody's game.
I mean, even if we didn't get the PK, like we
Yep.
scored one goal in the run of play against Houston in the first half. Like that's not something to be super proud of. Like I said, last season, if people are putting numbers up on Chicago, they're like, cool, we did our job because they're bottom of the
Right.
table. This is what you're supposed to do. Chicago's been a little hit or miss this season when it comes to scoring. And like you said, we're not built to score multiple goals. We've changed our front line so much this season. And when it comes to being down, it's hard for us to come back. I think we did that with Kansas City, which was great.
Which is hilarious. Hilarious.
But then you think of a game like the
Louisville.
first Gotham match where we were down one, and then I think Penelope scored to tie it up, and then it was like, okay, let's just play for the draw, and then Gotham scores in the 90th minute. Like it's not, you can't do that. You gotta keep pushing.
And that's the thing. Like they were pushing. Why can't we? Like that's the thing that drives me nuts. Like they were pushing for the win, and we were sitting like, it's cool if we tie.
Yeah,
I hate it. That
I
is
don't like
not.
it either.
That's not how the players are built either. That's what drives me nuts. But they're doing what is asked of them. And that's what's frustrating because you know they want to go out there and score another goal. And they were trying the front line when they were getting the opportunities, but they have to do what is being asked of them.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
get it. No, it's fine. I don't need to say anymore.
I mean, like, even though Natalia went out before the half, it's like Natalia Kuika is meant to go forward. Like, that is her skill set. She can sit back and play center back and defend the hell out of the box. She can do that. But she's at her best when she's moving forward and being someone that can make stuff happen on that right side and get the ball into the box, and hopefully there's some goals. A player who has been playing a lot recently on the left side, Taylor Malum, is also a player that is built to move forward. That's what she likes to do. When you have these players, like Natalia goes out, Cam comes in. Cam is also a player that is pretty offensive focused. When your outside backs in this, like in that formation, in that system, are meant to be pushing forward, when the entire second half they're sitting there, 4 on that line, 5 on that line, sometimes 6 on that line, when you have the forwards coming back too, it's not great. and it's like Taylor had some issues, like you said, with Michelle Alozier, and then like she came to the match, kind of gave her hell a little, but overall I thought that she played well when she was moving the ball forward. Good consistent presence in the attack, gets high up on the field. Our team does turn it over a lot, so she kind of gets lost in space in moments like that, which is unfortunate. But like you said, like our team is built like tactically to play well sitting back, but I don't think that's what the players want to do. I know they want to
No.
win, but in the back of their head, they want to keep pushing. They want to score those goals.
Yeah. Kuika got up the field too during this game in the first
A
half, and it was
lot.
awesome. I loved it. It was unfortunate that she had to come out. And that's the thing. Like when these players are pushing up and you're doing that, you're making players like Ordonez, Alozia, like you're making them defend instead of possessing and like figuring it out. You're giving them too many opportunities to break down your defense. Make them defend. Make them run back and forth up and down the field. When we're just sitting there and like, okay, try to break us down. Yeah, it's hard to do, but you give somebody enough opportunities, they're probably going to be able to do it at some point. And they got really dang close.
Yeah, I thought a lot of what happens with Chicago is when their substitutes come in on the front line, even though they are good players, like Mies is or has been a starter on this team, so has Jenna. It usually becomes a little different. Like Jenna, like I said, her tendency is to sit back a little more. Mies does get forward a lot. She does not fall into the back line a lot. But that's how they play against teams that should be beating us. When it comes to Houston, those players come in. It should not be oh man, um, you know, our best, quote unquote, best forwards are not out there anymore. We should just, we won't be able to do anything up forward anymore. No, you can, those players are good. They can still get forward. When it comes to playing a team like Houston, they shouldn't be going into the same tendencies as they do against a team like North Carolina or Orlando, like they did a few weeks ago. Like I feel like it was the same kind of play, but against a much worse team than the teams that we've been losing against. And I thought it was very strange to watch.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I feel like sometimes we do it even when we get down a goal. We decide to sit back. So we're like, oh God, we don't want to give up another goal, but we're not going to score if we do that. I don't understand it. I don't like it when teams do it. And I don't think it fits the players that we have on our team. Like the players that we're starting, I don't think that it fits what they're best at. It's not fitting their skill set, and I don't understand.
Yeah. And like I said, it's like, I understand you want the win. Like
We
2
all want
0,
the win.
2-0 is like the most dangerous score line, the most dangerous lead to have
Yep, you
in
don't want
soccer.
it. That's why I wanted that. You wanted that third goal would have been dagger.
Yeah. I mean, think
And
about like the San Diego match. Like once they got that third goal, it was like, this is over.
yeah, it
Like
deflates you because you're not going to come back from three. You're not scoring four. Maybe you could somehow get three and tie, but you're very doubtful you're going to be like, you're not going into a game thinking, I'm going to score 4 goals. That's
yeah,
not typically a
not in this
mentality that
league.
teams have. Not in that. No, not at all. And so
You'll
you're like,
see like
okay,
one, maybe two, like 4 or 5 goal games every couple of weeks.
it's frustrating. And I know that a lot of the fans are frustrated and as they should be, because we should be, again, I'm not meaning this to disrespect Houston at all, but we should not be doing that. We are just as good as Houston and better than Houston, so we should
Yeah,
not be sitting back against them. They have good players, don't get me wrong. They have
they
dangerous
do. They have
players.
very good players. They're
And
just
so,
not
but
utilizing them well.
no,
But
and
that's
that's
beside the
why it's
point.
like we also have very good players on our front line that we should be getting the ball. We have solid midfield players that can bring the ball. Like we are good. We are good. So why don't we act like it and play like we can go and score? That's and like we did in the first half. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also probably also a bad time to bring up that the statistic that I read about how they scored 2 in the first half for the first time since that May 12th match against Utah. It was also a goal in the run of play and a penalty in that one. So
That's what I was thinking.
they still haven't all season done a first half with more than one goal scored in the run
We're
of
gonna
play.
do it against Gotham.
Challenging. You would think that after all this talk, we would be having, it must have been a loss, but it wasn't. It was a win, and
No,
we should be happy about it. It's just
well, we
like
are very
we're thinking about
ecstatic
the
about the
future.
win. Yes.
You're thinking
And we're
about the
thinking
future.
about, yeah, you're thinking about what you should be doing and what you are capable of doing. And the thing is, if we don't look, I want to be a team that is where people are feared to play us in the regard of they're
And we
scared of
used to
our
be.
front line. And we absolutely used to be. Yeah. I think we need to bring that back. We need to be that team where they're like, oh my God, look at their front line. But when they know that, oh, they get the lead, and then they just sit back, we don't have to worry about them really attacking us anymore. That's not a good thing to put out into the universe.
Yeah, I do want to talk about something that is very exciting, very happy. Um, the last player that we have not talked about yet is
The
Alyssa
best.
Naeher, the best. And something that we missed while we were off last week was that Alyssa Naeher re-signed with the Red Stars for another season. And then, of course, she has to go and get her 49th clean sheet, now only 3 clean sheets away from tying Nicole Barnhart's league shutout record at 52. So there's 3 more matches this season. She just needs 3 shutouts. Let's
Why
do it.
not? Why not? I mean, why not?
Let's do it. And an entire year of Alyssa Naeher in 2025, like that's all we could ask for. Now we can take all the conversations that we were prepping for this offseason. We could put in the next offseason. We don't got to talk about those anymore because Alyssa Naeher is here to stay.
I know it. I'm glad that it happened before the season ended because now we don't have to worry about it anymore. She doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Like done. We know that she's locked in, and I can't be happier about it because we need her. She is Alyssa Naeher, and
Our
there's not
captain,
much more to be. Yeah, our captain. There's
uncle.
not much more to be said about Alyssa because she's just a rock, and she is one of the pillars of the Chicago Red Stars and always will be.
And now has the most minutes played by a player in club history for the Red Stars, passing Vanessa DiBernardo, a legend herself.
Another legend, another pillar of the team.
You know, this
Yeah,
this comes after her re-signing, which will lead to her being with the club for a full decade now. After next season, the only other player that's played 10 years with the Red Stars was Alyssa Motts, who retired in 2022. So, like, she was already at legend status, but now she's like, she just keeps doing stuff that gets even better.
a decade. Wow, that's wild. Like just awesome. I'm so glad. I knew I in my heart I knew she was going to stay. I wondered if she might test free agency just for fun,
Oh, when
but
I
I
asked her
figured
that,
she
she
was gonna
brushed
stay.
me off so quick. I was like, you didn't even want to
She
test free
probably
agency? And she was like, as I said, I was happy to stay in Chicago. And I was like, oh, okay.
I
Sorry, I
mean,
even
why
questioned
not?
you.
Yeah. I'm sure I Chicago's home to her.
It is.
Chicago's
It has to
home.
be.
She's buds with Mal. She's super close with Mal. I think it makes sense. And I'm so grateful that she wants to be here. It gives me more confidence as well moving forward with the club. Like I know we have new ownership, new coach. Like there's a lot of change. She's been here now for this first year. She could have said, "This is not what I thought it was going to be. I'm leaving." This gives me confidence that things are moving in the right direction of things that we're not as aware of. So, all in all, super happy that we get Uncle for at least another year.
Yeah. She said that she wanted to build on what has been going on these last couple of seasons with all the changes. She just wants to be here to keep seeing what that foundation can grow into. And that's so cool. I wouldn't want anyone else continuing their career here than Alyssa. Like that is number one to me. Literally number one. That is
She is number one, numero uno.
so
Oh,
good. I'm very
I know.
happy.
When that news came out, I was like, that's what I needed. I just needed that. That's just the confidence that I need with the team moving forward because we've had so many feels like times of bad news and things, and it feels like we're finally getting good positive news, and she wants to stay. It's nice to have players that want to stay.
Yeah. Overall, so the team now sitting in sixth, 4 points ahead of the playoff line, 7 ahead of ninth place. They're 6 points behind fifth, which is unfortunate. So they're kind of sitting on their own little island in sixth right now. The last 3 matches are against the teams that sit 2, 3, and 4 on the table. So they need to get some points out of those matches to stay in the playoff race. I'm pretty sure, based on what some people in our community were talking about, is that they just need to win against Gotham, or Louisville needs to lose, I believe, and they're in the playoffs. Or
Yes.
if they draw against New York and Louisville draws against Washington
Or loses, yes.
they're in the or loses, then we're in the playoffs. So that it's not the easiest task in the world, considering, Gotham is,
Gotham.
they've
just
lost
put up
once.
a ton of goals.
They've lost once in their last 7 matches. They're on fire and not slowing down. They won this weekend, 5-1 against Bay FC. No big deal.
Helped us a little bit with that win, so we'll take
Yeah,
that.
that's true. Yeah, every single team. Yeah, I put a tweet out. Every single team behind Chicago fighting for the playoffs lost or was Angel City, and they base net 0 for them. So that helped. Yeah. Everyone knows the storylines of Gotham,
Well, there's that, and also Yasmin Ryan is playing out of her mind right now, so we need to stop that, but we can't sit back. We cannot sit back against Gotham because they are going to score a lot of goals if we think that we need to sit back and we're just going to try and long ball over the top. It's not going to work. Tierna knows.
She does
Like, that's not going to work. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's so many players. I'm not going to say that you need to stop X, Y, and Z. I'm just, Yasmin Ryan's playing really well, but
we all know
we
their
need to go
weapons.
out and attack. And I think that Ludmila could be the secret weapon for us to break down their back line.
But then also needs to get past Ann Katrinberger, who is
That's okay.
She's kind of playing really well.
Did Germany play? They didn't play Brazil in the Olympics.
I don't think so. No.
No, they didn't. I was going to say, did she score against her?
That would be fun.
I don't know. I think Ludmila can do it.
Did they play?
So,
I don't know if they played.
No,
I don't remember.
I don't think they did. I remember we played Germany twice, but I don't think they
That's
did.
true.
But yeah.
Twice.
But no, I think Ludmila's going to get one. I do. I think she's going to get one.
I think so too. Make it 4 in a row. That's cool with me.
How about 4 goals?
Yeah, how about just 4 goals? 4 goals, 1 match.
I would love to see Mal get one as well. And
that would be nice.
It would be super cool if no former Red Stars would score against us in this game.
They're all former Red Stars, aren't they?
I feel like, yes. Minus like Emily Sonnet.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And Rose.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think the team can play well against Gotham. I just need Gotham to not be as good as they've been in the last couple matches. That's all.
Which could happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
It's concerning because it's a home game.
You didn't need to bring that up. The last time they played them was in the Summer Cup, and both teams didn't really have the players that are playing in this match. So kind of throw that out the window. You'd have to go back to the first time they played, which felt like it should have been a draw. But of course, former Red Star Ella Stevens had to come in and see to that.
Yeah. It was fine. That was one of those where you look back and you're looking at points and you're like, that was points that
That
we lost
was.
out on.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
definitely left
frustrating.
a couple of points on the table, maybe like 2 or 3 times this season, that with matches that should have been draws. And
Yeah.
that's super frustrating, like the Angel City ones, um or that last one against Gotham. Yeah.
That one was bad. That was playing not to lose is what that was. And then
Yep.
you lost.
Yeah.
Which seems like it happens a lot when you play not to lose, and that's why I don't like it. But yeah, that's the thing. I'll be curious to see what lineup Gotham throws out against us. I feel like they have a variety of players that they can throw out as us, as well as their bench is absolutely loaded. Esther has been playing really well.
2 goals in the last
2 goals
match.
and an assist in 4 minutes or something like that. Um, I don't even
Oh
know what to say about
boy,
that.
that's crazy.
It was something like that. It was insane.
I watched it.
Um,
It was, I was like half watching, and every time I looked up, I was like, oh, they got another. Oh, there's another. Oh, there's another. I'm like, what am I watching? I
and
thought I was just watching replays.
Emily Sonnet's been one of the best defenders in the league
Yeah,
this
she's doing
season.
really well.
So yeah, it's fine though. Like we can win. I truly believe we can win if we play
Or
the way
draw.
we have in some games. And if like those first games where Grosso was playing and she was getting combinations with Mal, we need more of
Mm.
that. I need more of that to happen because I think if we do that, we can break down their back line. I really do think that. So
I
I'm
think it's
hoping,
still going to be like a bunch of long balls over the top. I feel like it's still going to be that. I hope
and then
it's
I'm gonna
not.
get and then I'm gonna get mad, but it's
But at
fine.
least our long balls over the top are accurate. Like
They're good.
they
They're
just need to
good.
score them.
Yeah, we need to put the ball in the back of the net, and we need that's the thing. We're not going to get a ton of opportunities, I feel like,
Mm-mm.
especially with who we're playing against and the keeper they have and the back line that they have, but opportunities will be there. We just need to convert on the ones that we get.
Hopefully, Natu's back. Uh,
That
yeah,
was scary. And
it
keep the
was.
camera off the players when they're hurt.
I I don't need to talk about that again.
I just needed to say it again because it was annoying. I don't like it. I don't need to see that she looks like she's in a lot of distress. I don't need that.
Yeah,
So.
that was not good. But yeah, hopefully she's back. That would be super helpful. If not, either Tatum or Cam, I feel like can at least help contribute to a high degree.
Yep.
Maybe not as high as Natu, but definitely are not, defenders that are incapable of playing the position. They've both played really well this season.
Yeah, we've
Um,
got a lot of solid defenders.
I know. And that's why, like, even though there was like some injuries and stuff, I was kind of blown away that people were like, we need to go out in the market and get more defenders. I'm like, for what
We have them.
we have defenders that are capable of playing this system and getting the job done when they need to.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't think we needed to add another one. We can add another one this offseason. That's fine. We're about to
Yeah.
lose several defenders in the
Yeah,
offseason. So
depending on what happens with the people that are available to sign or go elsewhere.
yeah.
We'll
So
see.
Adam then. We don't need them now. Like I
No.
said, Tatum and Cam are perfectly capable of playing right back. It's not, we're fine.
Yeah.
And Carey
Yeah,
has been, other than that own goal, Carey's been playing well at center back. So let's just chill out.
is it truly a Red Star season without a few own goals?
Well, when they're usually scored by the other team and we win, yes, that is the Red Star season. But
We
as
just
of
need to
late,
make it
last season
happen.
and this season, the own goals have been us, and I don't like it.
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't
They
need
also
that.
left in free agency. How dare she?
I know
How
what is
dare own
going
goal do this
on.
to us?
Own goal with their garbage doing that.
We could have beat Orlando if not for own goal. That would have been great. the
That would have
only
been.
team to beat Orlando. Oh, what a badge I would have worn all off season.
Oh, I would not have shut up about that. It would have been magical.
Of course, the comments would have been like, "But those without Banda, blah blah blah." But I don't care. I wouldn't
I
have
don't care
cared.
either. Yeah, I don't care. We didn't play horrible when Banda was there anyway, so
That's true. They just, yeah. I mean, it was relatively close.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just believe this.
I can talk myself into anything.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this, yeah, Saturday. What is it, like 3 p.m.? Uh, yeah,
sure.
3 p.m. Gotham coming into town. We'll see what happens. I think this will be the first time that Ellis Stevens is back. First time since Tiana's been back. I'm sure I'm forgetting other people. No, I think that's it. I
The
think it's just
roster
us
is
two.
ridiculous, so I don't even know.
Yeah. And their bench is a starting 11. So
Yeah, it's fine.
we'll be good. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
we can compete. I'm not concerned.
They can compete for sure. I don't
Yes.
think it's going to be them crushing us. And I'll clip
No.
this and post it if they do. And so you can all make fun of me. Well,
It's fine.
we'll leave it there. We'll wrap things up for this week. I think that's good enough. Make sure that you are subscribed to us and have your alerts set wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a like, help us out, help us reach more Red Stars fans. That would be really cool. Make sure that you're also following us on social media at Red Stars Report. Keep up with the latest news between episodes. Don't forget to join our amazing Discord community. We hit 200 members last week, which was awesome. Keep climbing, make it 300, 400. Just keep inviting your friends who love the Red Stars, who want to talk about the Red Stars. But with that, we'll see you next week for another Red Stars Report.